from Horner's Corner with Akron Public Schools, and you can see today I'm at the STEM school here in Akron Public Schools, where they're working hand in hand with the Inventors Hall of Fame. Today, an inventor live on campus in discussion and answering questions from Akron Public School students. Part of the education they get with Akron Public Schools this week on Horner's Corner.
Okay, it's so nice to meet you. Can you begin by telling us a little bit about some of your favorite inventions and just like a little bit of timeline for those who were not able to make it to the presentation today?
My favorite inventions? Well, let's see. Most of my favorite inventions, well, there's inventions we take for granted, right? Mm-hmm. Those are the things that we take for granted.
Well, part of who we are is the National Inventors Hall of Fame, and what we do here is we have resident inventors that come and share their craft with our learners. The learners are going to be our future inventors, and we're actually inventing the future right here. So what we wanted to do today was kind of create an interactive session with our learners as they think about inventions and an actual inventor. So it was a great opportunity for us to build that future here today.
Probably 1964, something like that, 64, 65. This is it. This is all it does. But it makes me smile when I look at it. Other people are inventing along with you. And people invented things like the internet. Well, think about it. How useful would a digital camera be?
We're so pleased to be associated with the National Inventors Hall of Fame STEM schools. This whole initiative, first of all, for bringing inductees into the schools, is feasible because we have a grant from the Knight Foundation, and it supports bringing in inventors, these world-class inventors who have changed the world and changed the way we live our lives, and bring them in as real-life examples and role models for these kids to see that it is possible for a person to come up with an invention that has changed the way we live our lives.
No, not really. You know, most of the time when you're working on something in the early stages, you're thinking sort of in the context of the world that you're in. And there were no cell phones. You guys all have cell phones? So you all have a camera with you right now, don't you? Yeah, that didn't exist back then. Nobody carried around cameras. In fact, the idea of combining a cell phone with a digital camera, that never occurred to me. And it never occurred to Martin Cooper. Martin Cooper's the guy who invented the cell phone in the low 1976. Neither one of us really thought about that. And yet that was a combination invention that turned out to be the most ubiquitous form of visual communication ever made, right? More pictures are taken with cell phones today now than with digital cameras. And probably people spend more hours on their cell phones, perhaps with texting, maybe not, but using the camera portion of it. You can't sell a smartphone today without a digital camera in it.
Right, and I think too they can realize, they took a look at what Steve did as a child, and I think a lot of these kids can relate to that and maybe open some doors for some of their thinking and give them the courage to step up and do some inventing on their own.
They experience through pictures. So technology has changed the way you actually live your life and communicate. And I must tell you, after working in the field for all these years, it never occurred to me it would make that much of a
Very important to us that we bring in inventors who can inspire the next generation, and not just inspire them, but really issue a challenge to go on to do their own great things.
Then there's the inventions that I think are really cool, you know, maybe that's what you're asking. I think like the cell phone is really, really cool because it's an invention that came along, and not only does it do so many things, but it does each of those things so well.